Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Dee Dee. This is a video from one of our own. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get at Chow. It's Chow Time.
4B decenter men movement is dumb. Like, I don't care what nobody say. Like, y'all sound dumb. Like, for one, regardless what these men voted for, don't nobody have control over your body but you.
Yep.
I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're engaged. I don't care what your situation is. If you're not planning for a baby, then you should be on birth control. Period. Like, and I understand that things happen, but for the most part, things don't be happening to y'all. Y'all just be irresponsible, and y'all don't care about nothing till y'all miserable with a whole bunch of kids.
Oh, child, Lord have mercy. I had to chime in. I'm sorry, y'all, but she is telling the truth. No lies detected. It's just what it is. And a lot of these women like to play victim and act like, oh my God, this is affecting you in such a negative way when it's really not. You're just reckless with your bodies, and you want to be able to do whatever it is you want to do at any cost. And I think that's the issue.
It's the facing of accountability and consequences is what women are avoiding here. Remember, it's kryptonite, and pregnancy without abortion, you know, it's accountability. It's accountability.
You want to have your way, and when you don't get your way, then you're mad. But you're out here just being reckless, and it's the truth. They're being reckless with their bodies. They don't have much respect or regard for themselves. It's empowerment for them to go out here and have random unprotected sex with the men that they want to do it with. And then when you pop up with a baby, oh my God, it's a problem. Right? No, she's absolutely right. It's not all as complicated as they try to make it, because these are the choices and the decisions that they're making. Nobody's holding you back.
It's nice to have women that at least hold other women somewhat accountable, or at least are speaking on some of these issues, because most of the time we just hear, oh, it's okay, oh, single moms, they're the best, the slay queen.
It's taking away your rights, because when it comes to you being protective of your body and carrying yourself in such a way, you don't care to do that, because you're out here just doing what you want to do in the name of it's my body, my choice. And you're making the choices to be promiscuous, have babies out of wedlock, and do whatever it is you want. And then you want to cry wolf when it seems like there is some regulation involved or something that could kind of hold you accountable. Then you have a problem. So she's absolutely right. And women know it's the truth, and they try to play victim, but you know what it really is.
Women are the bouncers, right? There's men that want to come and shoot up the club, but you're the bouncer. You got to vet these men, see what kind of, what they got, what kind of piece they're bringing, what their intentions are with that piece, and either push them away or be okay with it. Most women are just shitty bouncers. They're just letting any old Chad, Tyrone, Pookie type just to come in and blast that club up like no tomorrow.
If they were to be honest, they would tell you the truth, but they don't want to do that because it would take away their victim card. Let's continue.
And I also feel like y'all need to stop this decenter men and recruiting other women to be bitter with you because you're mad because you don't get a certain type of treatment from dudes because you date men that don't like you. If you can't get no flowers, if you can't get no chocolate, if you can't get no date, if you can't get a certain type of treatment, that means that you're convenient and he don't like you. You don't have to decenter men. Go find dudes that actually like you, that actually want to give you a certain type of treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all sound crazy. Like, and then it's like y'all talking about decenter men, like who y'all gonna beg? Nah, who y'all gonna beg?
Y'all don't want to do the 4B movement in America.
Yeah, who you gonna beg? You broke, dusty, musty crusties.
Because you can't close your legs. And I understand, I'm married, so you know what I mean? Like, but the girls in the continent of Asia that's doing the 4B movement, you in America, you can't do it because you can't stop having. You can't stop popping at cats. That's what it is. That's why the girls in America can't really stick together and do the 4B movement, because you can't stop playing with.
America's just
you know what I'm trying.
You
can't stop allowing people to get up in there. You can't be celibate or abstinent. Like, that's really what it is. Because I don't believe in the 4B movement. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's just a waste of doing something. And don't nobody come to comments and be like, because I genuinely am not going to read them comments. But y'all know y'all not doing that 4B movement over here in the United States. Y'all like to party, club, bounce, pop that, put suppositories in afterwards. Ooh. That's all y'all want to do. That's all y'all like to do. And I don't think y'all should be doing it. I think y'all should be focusing on yourself, cleansing yourself, having a come to Jesus moment. And if you want to still use your cat, I feel like you should just settle down and get ready to be married. That's what I think you should do. But y'all not gonna do that either.
They don't, and she's no lies detected. They don't want to do that. As much as women like to talk about, oh, I want to settle down, I want a good man and all that. No, you don't. And when you talk about that, there's all kind of excuses as to why you don't want to keep that cooch with one man. You want to bounce it from this one to that one and that one and complain when you're having issues. You want the freedoms to do whatever it is you want, but you don't want the consequences that come with it. And then you want people to feel sorry for you when you're in a bind, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not about the president, all this 4B movement. It's BS. It really is. And it's been BS.
It is weird that they attached all of this to a single president, one single man that really isn't taking their rights away in any way, shape, or form, really, but
they called it before, and they still out here opening them legs and spreading it open wide and busting it down for whoever they choose to. That's just what it is. Let's continue.
Of the stress, people don't set realistic goals for themselves. Y'all are 4B movementing me to death, and y'all do not know the first thing about being anybody's 4 or B. 4B movements, let me reiterate for y'all, means y'all not gonna be with no man, y'all not gonna be dealing with no man, y'all not gonna be having intercourse with no man, y'all not gonna be dating no man. It's just gonna be you, yourself, and you and your homegirls, okay? And some women can do this because this is something they have been practicing for a long amount of time, but a lot of us cannot, and I'm including myself in a lot of us. Instead of feeling like because now all of these restrictions may be placed on women that you just have to decenter men, right? You have to just say F all men. How about you date with a purpose?
Correct.
Hear me out. How about you only involve yourself with men who you can see yourself having a child with? How about you abstain?
And I can say that for you men too, right? Only deal with women and only stick it in women that you can see being a mother of your children. Don't stick it in crazy. I say it all the time.
Until you meet someone who is worthy of your goods. How about refocusing on that? How about not cutting off something that you don't want to cut off, but rather putting yourself first? Ensuring that you are your first priority. Because see, baby, when you are your first priority and you are dating and you meet someone, that person will also make you their first priority. And you see, if you like that person in return, you're going to make that person your first priority, right? And so now your man is making you his first priority. You're making that man your first priority. So everyone is being prioritized and everyone is happy.
Yeah, but see, we're living in a culture that's not acceptable to a lot of these modern women. You want what you want when you want it, how you want it, and you want others to accept that type of behavior and all of that. You want to go out and be promiscuous, do what you want, and then when you feel like you think you want a committed relationship, then you think the man should just be on standby to come and scoop you up and make you his wife and give you this princess shielded kept woman lifestyle, while you're still not even prepared for that man or that.
It's funny because women think about like that whole being saved and that Disney narrative. There's so many white knights out there, but it's obviously the men that they don't want. All of this BS that these women want, the fantasy, all of this, romance and all this. Men are doing it. Men are still doing it, willing to do it. But they're just not the men you want. So it's never been about the romance or anything. It's always just been about the man.
That lifestyle. You're still a 304 out here just waiting on the opportunity to go slide to your sneaky link. Even when you got a good man who's taking care of you because you're used to that behavior. And you think that when you meet a man and you're ready to settle down, that you think and feel you're ready to settle down, it's going to be that easy for you? No, it's not. Because you're accustomed to that 304 lifestyle, and that's what you're going to continue to end up doing. When your relationship gets boring to you, you want to run back to them streets, and that's what a lot of these women tend to do. So the men and the relationships that they feel and believe they want and deserve, they're not even prepared for them. Let's keep it real. You're not prepared for that. This is why you end up single. This is why you get a man with everything that you say you wanted in some cases, and you walk the hell away back to the streets, because that is
Preach,
what's
girl.
calling your name, and that is what you're used to, because you've been doing that the majority of your life.
That's a lot of men out there that experience that. No, I'm sure there's plenty of you guys are the white knights, the savior, the one that's going to take her out of that lifestyle, give her a nice lifestyle, do everything for her, dote on her and everything, and then she leaves. Why? Because that's not what she wants.
Life here, 4B movement or not,
liars.
none of this is gonna give you a better life. It's not gonna make anything better for you, because it's
It
a bunch
doesn't.
of BS.
Like, if your life was lonely and miserable already, and then you do the 4B movement, what improvement did it really do for you? Most of the women that are doing the 4B movement, that are shaving their heads, don't have men already. What is it doing for you? What's the good out of this, in a sense, other than internet clout and you hate men?
Make it make sense. This is not going to change your reality. You got to change your mindset and how you move and how you think and what you do with your body in order for that to change. Instead, other than that, it's just a game that y'all playing, and y'all gonna keep going in circles with it, because you know you're not able to commit to the 4B movement, period. Let's just be honest. Child, let's continue.
That starts with putting yourself first. That starts with not letting just any old run through you. That
Agreed.
starts with ensuring that you are using your discernment, that you are vetting people properly, right? That starts with only dealing with people that's on your level. That starts with not being delusional about who's not on your level, meaning sometimes he may be out of your league, sis. Let's start there.
Damn, girl.
Let's set realistic goals. And then you got people talking about, oh, you need to break up with your man and you need to get divorced. Who? Because I'm not leaving my man for nothing, baby. And some of y'all got some good men and willing to say, maybe I should, big idiot. Set better goals, be more realistic, and you'll have less to worry about.
True.
Stay safe.
So I've been seeing a lot of conversation about the 4B movement, and women saying that women and men apparently are saying that women in America should join the 4B movement and stop engaging with men. And I don't believe that's the right direction for us to go in, respectfully. You see, Americans, and maybe it's human nature, but Americans definitely have a tendency to join a movement and then begin to feel superior to others who aren't in the movement because they are in the movement.
Oof.
And I just don't think that that's what we need right now.
Listen, that's the same way I feel about people voting and having the rights to vote the way you see fit. Others have this superiority complex to where they think that they are superior and better than you, to try to tell you how you should be voting and how you should be thinking as a grown person, trying to sway you and tell you that the way you're moving is not the way you should go and how you're voting.
I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to sway people certain ways, because it's normal discourse and debate. But yes, I don't think you should be going about shaming people for, like shaming them into voting for you or whatever, or voting your side.
It's not how you should vote because it doesn't agree with what I want. That is a person who thinks that they're superior than the rest, think that they're better than you and know better than you, to try to tell you what you should be doing with your own freedom of thinking, your own freedom to make choices. In this particular presidency, this particular election, we see a whole lot of that. People are crashing out on The View. They're over there fighting with each other, trying to convince each other that voters should be voting this way, and they're uneducated and they're just stupid if they didn't vote this, because that's not what you agree with. That is insane to me. That undermines the ability for people to think for themselves.
Correct.
And make choices based on what they think is fit when it comes to who the president is and many other things.
Remember, I talked about it in a lot of it's people are just voting for their own self-interest. That's what voting is for, right? It's not to vote for, I think this or that. No. Most people are going to vote because it's their self-interest, which is perfectly fine. That's how it should be. You don't have to share why you voted. I don't really think why people have to share why they voted either. As long as you say it's within my self-interest, it makes total sense.
So I just think that, that's how it is. People really start to think that they're better and they know what's best for you, and start trying to convince you that you don't know what's best for your own life and you should vote because that's the way they want you to vote.
True.
It's insanity, I tell you it is. And this 4B movement, which I think once again is a bunch of BS. These women know they're not going to be able to commit to that. When I first heard about it, maybe a couple of years ago, where they were talking about the 4B movement and child, it just fell on deaf ears because they're not serious. And now you bringing it back up to try to make some type of impact or statement or make it seem like you're doing something important, and it's really not. It's really not, child. Let's continue.
Do I think that the women who are knowingly with men who actively voted against her and all of our bodily rights and interests deserve to be shamed? Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, shame them more. We have done enough, quite frankly. What I'm not for is just the mere shaming and bashing of women who continue to be involved with men. That's a bit much. And
now, I will say this: you shouldn't be shaming anybody on anything, because everybody has a right to think and feel and vote the way they and move the way they want to. Everybody's not for deleting babies. Let's just make that clear. So
please stop it.
So you can't shame anybody for voting or choosing what their belief system is based upon.
Yeah.
Everybody don't believe the same thing. So for you to say, oh, people should be shamed.
Again, I'm not even Christian, right? When I grew up, I kind of was pretty liberal about it. And I was like, oh, it makes sense. Their body, their choice. But as I grew older, I was like, oh, no, it's murder. I can't see it any other way. Like, it doesn't matter how these women or people define it. Once the egg meets the sperm, boom, it's life, right? And anyway, and any extinguishing of that particular sperm and egg in any way, shape, or form is extinguishing life. That I came to that my own conclusion on that, right? No one like try to like convince me or anything. And I just thought about it and I'm like, wait, no. In my heart itself, yes, I agree that I think it is murder.
Because of their preferences and their beliefs, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Because you may believe and feel that, oh, deleting a baby is in your value system and what you believe on, and others may not believe in taking a life because that is what it is. Others may not believe in deleting.
As I, again, when bad things happen and medical procedures or whatever it is, I'm not fully against it, right? I'm not. But it should not be a form of contraception. And it should not be being done in such mass as it is now.
Life, children. Some believe that conception starts, in the womb. Some believe it may start at some point. Some may believe that when you hear that heartbeat, that is a life. Some may believe something else. So everybody's belief systems are not the same. So we can't all vote the same, and you shouldn't shame anybody based on their principles and values and what they believe in. I just don't believe that having a right to be able to get rid of a child should have been at the forefront of a campaign.
Agreed.
If you are being protective of your body and you're doing the things that you should be doing, that shouldn't be an issue. Now, other than the fact, because I know they'll bring this up, that somebody taking something from you, that's a whole different story.
Correct.
And I understand that. But overall, I just think that there are more things that we should be focused on. And if women were prioritizing a value system that encourages women to not be promiscuous, that encouraging women to prioritize marriage and families, then a lot of this wouldn't be at the focal point of the issue. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be the issue that's at the forefront, because you'll have more women who are married to their husbands, giving babies to their husbands, and not women who are out here recklessly having sex and then popping up pregnant and realizing that they're in this by themselves, not wanting to have that responsibility, then, going for deletions. It wouldn't be such a big issue. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it's not an issue, but it wouldn't be as much of an issue if women were moving differently.
Agreed.
I'll put it that way. But let's continue.
To go down that route, I think we should just respect the fact and understand the fact that while there is going to be an increase of women who stop being involved with men, there will also be an amount of women who continue. And it is what it is, and that's okay. Oh, so you really gonna just let that man just have that much control and power over you? That kind of stuff, we're not doing that. We're not. That's ew. Ew. You are well within your right to make the decision on how you choose to move forward with men.
If that's the case, how are we not within our rights to choose to move forward with our votes? Like those two things, in my opinion, would be my own choices, right?
In this
Why
new
would you
society we're
shame for
entering.
that?
But y'all lose me when y'all start trying to shame other women for not choosing the path you chose. That's your path.
Again, why are you shaming people or men or people in general for voting a different path? That's their path, right?
You walk it with pride and understand that other folks gonna have their own stride. Amen. Like, I need for us to be for real. Y'all are asking for all straight women
I gotta say, her bonnet's pretty cute with like the knit bonnet. I kinda like it.
to just opt out. And as someone who's opted out, I get it. I'm doing it myself.
Listen, I want to hear y'all thoughts on this once again. This is not my first time talking about this 4B movement. And I just think it's ridiculous. Straight up. I think it's a bunch of BS. I think it's just dumb. I don't think it's going to change or make any impact whatsoever. Maybe it's a reflection moment. Maybe it's a time to reflect on your poor choices and maybe do something differently so that you won't keep winding up in these situations. You know what I'm saying? And maybe prioritize stable relationships and marriages. That way you don't have to be with all these different men. If you get a baby with your husband, then it's acceptable. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know if they're ready for that, but you need to reflect. Maybe this is a time to keep your legs closed and think about not opening them again. I'm just saying. I
100% agree with Dee Dee. It's just something for them to do and be outraged on and make content on because, yeah, it ain't gonna last. There's not enough women. Women are just way too promiscuous in the United States to even want to attempt something like that. Again, Chow Time 2.0 down below in the description, please. If you guys can go sub on it, I'll have videos up next month. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.